On episode 215 of He Said, She Said Movie Reviews, we take a look at the Apple TV movie Finch. Welcome to He Said, She Said Movie Reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick, spoiler-free look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
So we just watched Finch on Apple TV. What do you give this one, April?
You know, I'm going to give this one a 4.
Really?
Believe it or not. Yeah, I am.
Interesting. Yeah, for me, it was a 3. Okay. And since this was Apple TV, we have no trailers to talk about, so we'll just go right into the storyline. You want to go with the storyline?
Sure. On a post-apocalyptic Earth, a robot built to protect the life of his creator's beloved dog learns about life, love, friendship, and what it means to be human.
Okay, so this was directed by Miguel Sapochnik. He's known for, he's primarily a TV director, but he did 6 episodes of Game of Thrones, including probably everybody's most favorite episode, Game of Thrones, which was Battle of the Bastards. And then it was, and here's the really interesting thing, and I think this shows, and we'll get about this here in a minute. The writers were Craig Luck and Ivor Powell, and both of these guys, this is their first writing credit.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, it had a very, very small cast. It had Tom Hanks, Caleb Landry Jones, Emily Jones, and Seamus the dog.
Absolutely. And Emily was the voice.
Yeah, just the warning system voice.
Absolutely. The runtime was 115 minutes. It's rated PG-13 for brief violent images.
Okay. So this had a really interesting theme, I think, this movie. It was all about, this whole thing of being, what's it mean to be human?
Right.
Okay, so I'm kind of going to go down to the story first, then we can build backwards on this, because I really want to point out, the movie's called Finch, and that's Tom Hanks' character.
Right.
Right, but Finch is not the protagonist of this movie. Jeff is the protagonist. The robot is the protagonist. Right. It's all about his story arc of birth to where he ends up in this movie.
I think you're right about that. And I think as far as the acting and the characters, Tom Hanks and his everyman performance, you talk about this a lot. Yeah. With him. Good characters, but with a character study movie, we did not get much of the Finch's background. Again, you mentioned that right away, and I think you were right about that. Yeah, that could have been done better.
Yeah, we needed more about Finch, especially because you kept saying, why is he so angry all the time?
Yeah, especially with the robots. It's like, I mean, and I don't want to give anything away, but that was a concern I had with that. But it was the acting. He was amazing.
Well, Tom Hanks, I mean, this is a triple Academy Award winning.
Right, and I'm about to jump what I liked the movie, so we got to keep going. What'd you think about the direction?
The direction was fine. I mean, but like
it's Tom.
It's Tom Hanks, and I'm sure that the director didn't really have to do anything more than say action, and Tom Hanks is doing Tom Hanks thing.
You mentioned this the minute it was over, though, about the upbeat soundtrack for the mood.
Yeah, it's funny because for me, I thought the soundtrack had a lot of upbeat music to it. This is a post-apocalyptic world where there's hardly anybody left. You'd think it would have kind of more of a somber, but it didn't. It kind of was upbeat.
Right, and I like that too. I thought the cinematography, they did so good with the lighting. And what'd you think about the desert?
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, this is a planet where a solar flare, this is not a spoiler, a solar flare just ruined their ozone layer and the world is wiped out. There's no vegetation, there's high radiation storms and all this other stuff.
Right.
I think they did a really good job of bringing that to life.
And I want to talk about, again, the production design.
I guess this was all filmed down in New Mexico, too.
Right. So. And Tim, it was so believable. I mean, I sat there and it really drew me in. And I think this isn't one of my favorite types of movies, but boy, it drew me in. The production design was very believable. The atmosphere and the special effects were amazing as far as the robots. And what'd you think about the environment? The bad environment.
Yeah, I thought, once again, like I said, I think that the production design, the special effects, I think they did a really good job with this movie. I mean, and I'm glad to hear that you were drawn into this movie, because I wasn't sure you would sit through the whole movie with me on this one. So
I enjoyed it.
Editing, nothing special there.
Right.
No, I think, did we talk about the robot special effects? I thought were all great.
Amazing.
There's a great little nod to Silent Running in here. I'll let you guys find the Easter egg if you've ever seen the movie Silent Running.
Pace was slow at times.
Yeah, but it's a character study, right?
It is.
You know, so.
And the dialogue, it wasn't. To me, this is where it could have shined a little bit better. But how are you going to do that? You've got a man, a couple robots, and a dog.
To me, and this is why you gave it a 4 and I gave it a 3. I'll tell you why real quickly.
Go ahead, because I really want to still talk about why I gave it a 4.
Okay. For me, I thought there was a lot of tropes in here. I mean, post-apocalyptic tropes. And I also felt that the movie was very predictable.
Okay.
I mean, the end. What happened in the end was no surprise to me.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I don't think that's the point of the movie. I think that there's a journey in this, and I'm not going to give it away, and I cried because there's a little bit of heaviness. There really is. But what I loved about it is that there were lessons along the way, and they were very much to life, your life, right?
Right.
And how you teach other people to respect life. Right?
Sure.
So for me, that's what I enjoyed about the movie. I loved Tom Hanks' character, but the only thing I didn't understand is you would have thought he would have been so much nicer to the robots because he built them. The human part,
right, heading
towards being more human. He came in to appreciate that later. Not at the beginning. But I really enjoyed the movie. So that's that. I think it's worth seeing.
No, absolutely. We've pretty much said this before. Apple pretty much doesn't put out any junk.
No, I love Apple.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of what Apple is putting out, definitely see this. And if you haven't seen season 2 of The Morning Show, man, it's deep.
Oh boy, you need to do that.
So.
All right, everybody. That is what we think about Finch. We have seen so many more movies than we've reviewed. Life is going crazy, but I think I've just talked Tim into our next episode, which will be a summary. And he will share, and I will too. And I think you'll get a lot out of it.
Okay, there you go. So for the Apple TV's Finch, April gives that 4 stars. I give it 3 stars. We really appreciate you taking the time and listening to our podcast. It means a lot to us. If you haven't already done so, please tell a friend about it.
Please do. And again, thanks again. And we love your feedback, your questions. And anyway, stay happy, stay healthy. And here's to a great holiday season. Go to the movies.
We'll see you at the movies.
See you at the movies.